Imagine drifting in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. You have no food, you have no water. Your skin is burning off in the sun, and below your feet you can see shadows moving in the deep. In July 1945, the USS Indianapolis sank in just 12 minutes. 900 men went into the water. For 4 days, nobody came looking for them. Why? Because their mission was so secret, the Navy didn't even know the ship was gone. By the time help arrived, hundreds were dead. Not from the explosion, but from the sharks. This is the true story of the worst naval disaster in American history, and the terrifying secret mission that caused it. To understand why they were left to die, we have to go back 10 days earlier. The Indianapolis wasn't just on a patrol. She was carrying a wooden crate on her deck. Inside that crate was the component for a weapon that would end World War II. The orders were simple. Speed is everything. Do not stop. Do not use the radio.
The mission was a success. The ship delivered the atomic bomb components to Tinian Island and began the journey home. But because the mission was classified, the ship was traveling alone, without a destroyer escort to protect it from submarines. On July 30th, just after midnight, a Japanese submarine spotted the silhouette of the Indianapolis against the moonlight. 2 torpedoes hit the ship. The first blew the bow off. The second destroyed the engine room. The ship began to roll over immediately. It was chaos. Men were thrown from their bunks. The lights went out. The screams of trapped sailors filled the air. In just 12 minutes, the massive vessel slipped beneath the waves, taking 300 men down with it. But for the 900 men who made it into the water, the nightmare was just beginning. They were covered in thick black oil. They had no life rafts, only life jackets. And as the sun rose on the first day, they realized the water around them was filled with blood.
The blood in the water attracted them from miles away. Oceanic whitetip sharks. Hundreds of them. At first, the sharks just circled the sailors, curious. But then, the attacks began. The survivors formed circles, floating back to watch for fins. If a man drifted away from the group, the sharks would take him. The men could hear the screams as their friends were pulled under, one by one. For 4 days, this continued. The sun blistered their skin. They had no fresh water to drink. Some men went mad from dehydration and started drinking the salt water. They began to hallucinate, seeing islands that weren't there, and swimming away from the group straight into the jaws of the predators. By the 4th day, the survivors had given up hope. The Navy hadn't come. Nobody knew they were missing. They were just waiting to die.
It was a complete accident. A Navy patrol plane was flying a routine anti-submarine mission when the pilot looked down and saw an oil slick. He thought it was a Japanese sub. When he flew lower to investigate, he didn't see a submarine. He saw hundreds of heads bobbing in the water, surrounded by sharks. He broke radio silence immediately. Many men in water. The rescue was frantic. Ships and planes rushed to the scene. The pilot of a seaplane actually landed on the water, taxiing his plane into the waves to pull the weakest men onto his wings, just to get them out of the water before the sharks could attack again. Of the nearly 1,200 men who served on the USS Indianapolis, only 316 survived. The captain, Charles McVeigh, was court-martialed for losing his ship, a controversial decision that haunted him for the rest of his life. It took over 50 years for the survivors to clear his name. Today, the Indianapolis is remembered not just for the tragedy, but for the impossible endurance of the men who survived the worst shark attack in history.